My special guest author is a military veteran in this episode of Nothing Like a Good Book. I'm Mark Bishop, and welcome. We have all sorts of books, all sorts of authors on the show, and thank you for your letters. He is a veteran, a military veteran, and social justice advocate. He's a testament, really, to resilience and a call to action for social justice. I'm referring to Julius Paul Montgomery's life, marked his experiences with racism and discrimination, which he chronicles in his book, Clermont and Beyond. I'd like to welcome to Nothing Like a Good Book, Julius Paul Montgomery. Hi, Julius.
Hi.
I always like to know about my author's background, Julius, and in particular with an autobiography before we get into the book. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir, it is.
All righty. Well, I know you were born in Clermont, Florida, to a large family. You worked in the orange groves, but your vision of leaving this small town and becoming an airline pilot led you to join the U.S. Army to make a better life for yourself. And after something like, 21 years in the Army and 5 years as a civilian recruiter, you became an ordained reverend and founded the nonprofit churches organized to assist, later renamed, the Patriarchs. Is that right?
Yes.
Matriarchs Children's Fund, a.k.a. Heroes. And that's to expose black youth to become community heroes and provide positive role models for them. And as a disabled veteran, you're now retired, married with 4 kids, so they'd be growing up a little, but you got 14 grandchildren. Is that right?
That's correct. 17 now.
Oh, wow. Another 3. You're still living in Austin, Texas, right?
I live in San Marcos, Texas.
Oh, San Marcos. Okay. So now, on Nothing Like a Good Book, we've done the background, and I'm going to ask you, you founded the Patriarchy and Matriarchy Children's Fund to help children from underprivileged backgrounds. When did you set this up, and what correlated with underprivileged backgrounds for you?
Yes.
Okay, this is to help underprivileged children. When did you set this up, and what correlated, with underprivileged backgrounds?
Underprivileged, all underprivileged. I didn't have any different in a particular race or anything. Just all underprivileged kids who lived in a home that met with less than a $50,000 income. So we started in 1995. We had about 7 board members and everything. Our president was really a white person by the name of Laura Leah with a master's degree in English from Brown University. Mm-hmm. And I had 3 retired Army majors, and the rest was just common people out of the community. We was successful in having the program in the school. In the school, it was after school program for underprivileged children. And what we did, we tried to match kids with hero patriarchs and matriarchs out of the community. And I think we ended up with 25, and we did biographies on them and put the biographies in the library in the Austin area. And the kids tried to emulate those persons that they talked of the biography that they reviewed. So,
well, that's marvelous. I mean, you're also passionate about education and its power, to develop society, right? And in fact, you believe that education is the key to reducing poverty and improving lives, so much so that you founded the Heroes Club to provide educational opportunities for at-risk youth. That's marvelous, Julius. Tell us a little bit more about that, would you?
Well, I come from a very large family who was very productive. And my dad, who was really a genius, I suppose, I really think so. He had a 3rd-grade education, and he was a general contractor, and he employed quite a few people and everything. And he believed in self-reliance. And he said due to the Jim Crow in the area, that people should have a program of their own so they can operate independently of the say white community. That's what we're talking about. And
I understand.
He wanted me to be a contractor too. He wanted me to work in house building like he was and everything. But I was hell bent on becoming an airplane pilot, and I saw myself manipulating through the blue skies and everything as an airplane pilot. But he told me that blacks could not be an airplane pilot in this country, so he was going to teach me construction. I did some research, and I found out that there was black airplane pilots, that they was in the Army Air Corps.
Yeah.
And they was trained at Tuskegee, Alabama.
That's right, the Tuskegee Airmen. I love that show.
So I knew then that I would join the Army. At 18, I joined the Army, but I found out I only had a tertiary education. My father pulled me out, saying that that had learned a trade and be independent was more important than the education at that time. Because there was not very many opportunities, even for educated blacks, other than two school teachers, undertakers, and say that's what. And he said that was and he didn't know any other black contractors in the area other than himself. So he was in a career field that was almost predominantly white. So, and he told me that he's going to teach me how to be a contractor like himself, and I should forget about the airplane pilot. But I decided when I was 18 to join the Army anyway.
Yeah, you did what you felt you must do.
Yes, sir. And at 18, I joined the Army, and I only had a 10th grade education at the time, and I tried to apply to be a pilot and everything. But that sounded they already come up with the 1948. I think the Air Force was I don't know, it was 1948 or when 19. Let me see. I don't know exactly when, but when I joined the Army, the Air Force was already in. And it had already been formed, so...
I get it. So let's look at it this way. From the orange groves in Florida, it ends up being that you've seen and traveled more than most would do anyway. The 40s into the Army, then the 50s through to the 80s. You fought prejudice for being a dark complexion black man, even within his own family. And, okay, so allow me to share this. His U.S. Army service in communications, operations, and recruitment took him from Florida to Hawaii, Thailand, Germany, Vietnam, and Korea, as well as several stateside Army posts. A career that eventually ended with a diagnosis of depression and post-traumatic stress. So this particular book, Clermont and Beyond, it really details his exploits, musings, and heartaches as he makes his journey through a fascinating life. Would that be a fair summary, mate?
Yeah, but also I was in communication, recruiting, and intelligence. I was also an intelligence analyst.
That's right.
And I did a lot of writing for operation orders for the units as a non-commissioned officer. The first time I was acted as a non-commissioned officer, as an operation officer, and intelligence was in Vietnam. I did the forming of units so that they can engage in a successful defense against the enemy. I recruited engineers for as a minesweep team, attack helicopters so that as for air engagement, infantry to direct and security tanks as they went.
Well, Julius, I'll tell you something. Thank you for your service, my friend. Thank you for your service. No wonder you ended up with stress with all of that lot. But let's talk about the book, Clermont and Beyond. It's based on your life, and what a heck of a life.
Yeah, it's based on all this is part of the book, yes.
Mm-hmm. How did you decide what aspects of your life to include in your autobiography? I mean, there's so much there. How do you decide what I'll put in and what I won't?
Well, early on, I wanted to impress upon the young people of mostly the minority races that if you persevere and be continuous and persevere, that you can actually overcome the discrimination and everything, and you can become successful even in a prejudiced environment. And this could be proven by the success really of the whole Montgomery family, because my dad wanted his children and down the generation to be independent like he was, and lots of them took him up on that. And we got one girl, one daughter, he got one grandchild that talked to him a lot about how he started off in construction business, and she herself became an independent contractor, and she developed and she formed an organization called the Disorder Group. And today she has one of the top 25 fastest growing corporations in the United States.
Wow, good on her. That's amazing, isn't it?
And she operates throughout the United States in engineering and road construction and high power for energy, that is, high power energy.
Well, the details, Julius, if I may ask a question, the details of your life form a story of tenacity and honesty, optimism and social mindedness. You know, it'll inspire with some for sure. Were there any particular challenges that you faced during the writing process?
Oh man, tell me about there was prejudice very much. There was prejudice even in the Army. And they tried to, and there was, after you got to a certain grade, they pretty much tried to undercut you so you couldn't get promoted. So
that sucks, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. So I progressed up to the rank of E7, which is a pretty good rank. It's a senior grade rank, and I was supposed to make E8. And I had a colonel that was a bigot, and he wouldn't give me an evaluation report. So eventually, after his practice was pretty much known that he was a bigot, he was kicked out of the Army.
Jolly good show. What?
he was kicked out. His name was Colonel Finn, and he was the commander of the Dallas Recruiting Command. And this was in 1978 that he got kicked out of the Army. So I think I won that battle, even though he had tried a lot of things to curtail my career. Some of the practice that he did was the first thing he did was he questioned my intelligence. He had me take a test, which I passed with flying colors. And then he sent me off to seven different venues that and for no reason at all, he sent me there. And thirdly, he sent me to Oklahoma. Thirdly, he had to give in so I can get to an E8 slot. So he transferred me to Oklahoma City. And when I got there, he hadn't given me an evaluation report. So I called the recruiting command, and they told me to report back to that colonel until he come up with his fishing report. So I got back from Oklahoma City to Dallas, and I put up in a hotel waiting to see him. And then I was in a hotel for 3 days, and he still didn't see me. And finally, I saw the sergeant major, and they told me to go home and stay there until they called me.
Mm-hmm.
And but there was a black personnel, Miss Hoover, who told me that to make sure when I got back to Fort Hood to sign in somewhere, anywhere, just sign in.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. And the 32nd day, they called me. And when I got back to the headquarters, there was several officers and a first sergeant, and they told me that I was a deserter, and I would undergo a general court martial.
Wow.
And
all this is in the book, isn't it, my friend?
Yeah, I think
it'll be terrific to read because you can get through it all. There's so many things, and in the short time we have left, Julius, I'd like to ask you a couple more questions. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, were there any surprises or discoveries that you made about yourself, while reflecting on your life for your book?
Well, the one thing I learned about myself that I was resilient, and I learned that I was able to overcome a lot of obstacles.
You sure did.
And got help from an outside area. I just think that I was a survivor, really.
Big time. The lesson out of this interview for those listening who may be very down in between gigs, unemployed, can't get a job, whatever, whoever hears this, really, if you read the book, it's a heck of a motivational book. Because, what this guy's been through, we can't cover this in 30 minutes on air. There's a lot of stuff, and it's well written, too. Well written. What do you hope, Julius, that readers will take away from this autobiography? And what message, I gather about, it's really like get out and do it, don't feel sorry for yourself. But what message would you like to leave with the listeners?
I would like to let them know that you can make it if you persevere, and if you supply your intellect into an environment of prejudice and bigotry. If you just continue to persevere using your intellect, that you could circumvent all of this, all of the.
All of the rubbish, all the negativity, all of it. Well, it's very different today, my friend, to what it was in your day. You know what I mean? It's very. I see protection for you now more than ever.
Let me talk about my assignment. I was in Germany, and when I was in Germany, I was able to go into a McDonald's, and in the United States, I couldn't go into a McDonald's.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I hate this sort of stuff.
I was 25 years old when I came back to the state before I can go into a McDonald's and have a hamburger. And this was after the 1964, 1965 Equal Rights Amendment and Voters' Right by President.
Julius, just interrupting there's a valid point. I find this extremely ironic, and a lot of other adjectives that could go with it, but you're good enough to go out there and fight for us and die for your country, but you're not good enough to just go in and get a hamburger in McDonald's.
Right.
Oh, man, I tell you what. Now, look, the book is called Clermont and Beyond. In fact, you can go to the website, right? HTTPS, all that jazz, ClermontandBeyond.com / or backslash, I should say. ClermontBeyond.com. That's the organizational website, but it's on Amazon, isn't it?
Yes, it's on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Noble, online on Barnes and Noble.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's on eBay and Apple. It's all over the place.
So listen, knowing you, I wouldn't be surprised if with the sales from any of the proceeds would be going towards your organizations anyway.
How's that?
I'm saying that any profits from the book sales would probably go to your wonderful organizations with what they do for children.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. Well, you never know, mate.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a children's book because quite a few quite a few episodes of female activity, especially in Germany and Korea and Vietnam and Thailand. I was also in Thailand.
Oh, yeah. I love Thailand. I've been there. A little place called Koh Samui. Well, I was there when there was nothing, just tents for us backpackers. But now there's 4-star and 5-star beautiful resorts. Lovely place, Thailand. Koppam Club. Anyway, your darling wife, Robbie, right? She passed when?
She passed in 2020 on February the 3rd.
How long were you together?
We were 50 years.
Oh, wow. 50 years. That's amazing. Congrats on that. Congrats on that, John Paul. Julius Paul.
We have 4 wonderful kids who are very productive today. I have my oldest son, my first son, my oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
He owns pharmacies and gymnasium for exercising, and he I guess he's probably at least a millionaire.
What's his name?
His name is James Wallace Montgomery.
So the other 3 children, are they boys, girls, what?
I have 3 boys and 1 girl.
So you
my second son is a realtor, and he also buy and sell cars. So he works real hard and he does quite well.
He's a survivor.
All of my kids except my stepson Joe. I have a stepson.
Mm-hmm.
I really have three biological kids and 1 stepson. My stepson works for a trucking company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what he does, but
did you marry again? Did you?
Huh?
Did you marry again?
Who's that?
You, Julius. Did you marry?
No, I haven't married. I bought a place here.
Mm-hmm. So you adopted that son then?
I have. Let me tell you, all of my kids except Joe, which is stepson, have $1 million houses at least.
Good on them. And they've really come from the right way. They certainly didn't do what Dad had to do, did they?
And myself, I have a big place here, which is go probably for $1.2 million.
Very good, very good.
And
you've come a long way, Julius Paul Montgomery.
From the discrimination of Clermont to where I am now, it's quite a journey.
My word, it is.
Yes.
And you've poured your heart out into this book, and I hope people read it because it's a heck of a story. And the name of it again is Clermont and Beyond. The author, is this your first book, Julius?
This is my second book.
Oh, okay. The author is Julius Paul Montgomery.
J. Paul Montgomery.
J. Paul Montgomery. And it's called Clermont and Beyond, and it's a heck of an autobiography, I'm telling you. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's but as I said before, and you didn't hear me, but I'll try it again. Thank you for your service, Julius.
Thank you.
You're most welcome, my friend. God bless with this book. And look, let's just go quickly where it's going. We've got, I know we've got ClermontandBeyond.com. We've also got Amazon. All right, Amazon Books, of course. You know the link on all that. Just go to Amazon.com/Clermont-Beyond-Julius-Paul-Montgomery and so on. That's easy to find. All right. So, again, Julius, all the very, very best with this, Clermont and Beyond. And thank you for your service, and thank you for all your perseverance and what you've been through, that you may help others, and others that you have helped already through your nonprofits and what you've done for kids. Okay? Thank you, Julius.
Okay.
Lovely speaking with you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So there we go. Julius, an interesting fellow. The book itself is very enthralling, trust me. And it just goes to show you, you know, I mean, I grew up in the country watching American, I've pulled a muscle in my back through golf. and it really hurts. It's called the lat muscle. And I'm getting work on it, but gee. Anyway, that bores you, doesn't it? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, watching American, news and documentaries and stuff like that years ago, and I don't know. I guess we were lucky. We had a little bit of, we had our issues in Australia with the Aborigines, but nothing like this. Nothing like you've lived in America in relation to racial. And we're all God's kids. Just that, I'll leave it at that. But that's the book, Clermont and Beyond. Make your own decisions. Thanks for listening. And we'll have another Nothing Like a Good Book relatively soon. Goodbye now.